Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna read through this full article again, links in the description, as there always will be. This is unfortunately an extremely dark topic. We can see the headline: a mother 27 years of age killed her daughters 18 months and 3 years of age with an overdose of methadone before killing herself because she thought she'd brought them into a corrupt world. So the mother killed herself after killing her two daughters, 18 months and 3 years of age. So extremely dark. Gonna read through the full article. Now, if you do need a mental health break, then yes, if you're in the UK, call the Samaritans. If that's, if you are feeling depressed and such. But otherwise, check out a couple of the friends of the channel. Here's a couple of very pleasant communities on YouTube to recommend to yourself. Kind of Whatever with Jenny, there's Jenny, and Lottie, there's Lottie. Nice, pleasant live streams, nice community, bit of fun and games. So that's a nice mental health break. At the end of the day, Bella does regular live streams, very fun natured, and the community is very welcoming, very warm, very pleasant, very kind. So if you are looking for a YouTube community or two, do check out those guys. If you stick around, let them know that Picker sent you. That's my name. But we're going to go back to the article. We're going to read it in full again. It is very harrowing. A mother killed herself and her two young daughters with a drug overdose after becoming convinced that she'd brought them into a corrupt world. Tiffany Stevens, the mother, 27 years of age, was found dead next to her children, Casey-Lea Taylor, 3 years of age, and 18-month-old Darcy Stevens, in January 2019. Bolton Coroner's Court today heard the youngsters had drunk massive amounts of methadone, a powerful heroin and opioid substitute. Tiffany had a fatal level of morphine in her system. She had injected insulin and methadone, among other drugs. None had been prescribed to her. In a heartbreaking suicide note found at a terraced house in Bolton, Lancashire, England, she wrote, "I have chosen to kill us in my children's best interests." Little Darcy, the 18-month-old, was found in a buggy, a trolley, a buggy, by the front door, and Home Office pathologist told the court that the family had probably been dead for about a week. So there's Casey, the 3-year-old daughter, and Darcy, the 18-month-old daughter, Tiffany, the mother. The inquest heard relatives became concerned that they had been unable to contact her for a week, and so entered the house through a back door. In a statement, paramedic Kirsty Ogden told how she found Tiffany and Casey-Lea lying on a mattress on the living room floor underneath a duvet. Both were dead. Toxicology tests showed that Darcy, the 18-month-old, died for an amount of methadone enough to prove fatal to an adult. When Casey-Lea, the 3-year-old, was examined, she had also been given methadone and had been injected in her abdomen with insulin. Tramadol and morphine were also found, and Dr. Lum concluded she died from drug toxicity. In response to a question from Tiffany's mum, Bobby Jo Stevens, the pathologist stated the drugs that Tiffany, the mother, and the girls had taken would have rendered them unconscious before death. "I don't think there would be any pain or suffering." The family were found at their house in Bolton on January the 21st, 2019. So I'm going to make a couple of comments expressing my opinion, which, is generally not worth a great deal at the best of times. But, I mean, obviously, how harrowing, how tragic the death of the mother and the two children. with a lot of these cases, I'm extremely angry at the alleged perpetrator, but I find myself, and you might disagree with this viewpoint, but I find myself with some level of empathy for the mother. I'm presuming that she is mentally, or she was mentally ill. I'm presuming that I can only fathom that she was suffering from mental illness, from an extreme form of depression. That's where my brain goes to. So obviously it's extremely tragic. She took her own life, but much more importantly, she took the lives of her two innocent daughters. So that obviously is absolutely harrowing. At the same time, I have some level of empathy for her, just based on my presumption, which may or may not be correct, that I can only think she must have been extremely depressed, and she could not have done this in a clear frame of mind, is my take on things. You're free to disagree, but I mean, generally I feel extremely angry with the perpetrator. In this case, I guess my anger is numbed or thwarted by my presumption that she must have been not of sane mind. I'm going to have a look at a couple of the comments on this Daily Mail article. Again, there is links in the description. I read through this one quickly from Mum 1968, and I guess condolences from myself to you. This is in my village. I remember the neighbours hearing the screams of the father of the children when he found them. I feel so deeply for the little ones taken too soon, but also the loving families left behind to cope with this unbelievable tragedy. Also for the trauma of the emergency services finding their bodies. Rest in peace. I really appreciate those comments there from that commentator on the Daily Mail. My thoughts go out to everyone concerned, the family. I mean, the father. I mean, how devastating must that be? As well as the emergency services. It's going to be traumatic for everybody. Tragic is an understatement. Absolutely heartbreaking. Yes, absolutely. It is devastating. So as the article mentioned, if you are in the United Kingdom, if you do suffer from depression or severe anxiety or whatever it happens to be, you can call the Samaritans. But outside of that, if you do feel like you're going to benefit from a mental health break, I mean, that's how I term it, just taking your mind away from these extremely dark, tragic, traumatic subjects, then consider joining a couple of the friends of the channel. As I mentioned, kind of whatever, very pleasant live streams at the end of the day. Both of these channels have very nice communities. If you're interested in right-wing conservative politics, perhaps you're not, but if you are, you might find some fun at my other channel, CIS Male. But either way, do take a mental health break. Don't allow yourself to get too bogged down with these subjects. And if you have watched all the way through, I very much appreciate it. Please do comment. That's what I'm interested in. Please do comment. Be a little bit part of the community. And everyone take care.